What's up, everybody? This is week 4, finding your way with Toad Sage from BRT. He was off on vacation the last couple of weeks, so hopefully he didn't lose any progress gained in the last few weeks. Um, we're jumping into the Anchor VWAPs, getting in more trades. Hopefully, he took some trades this week so we can recap some red or green. I'm gonna start to laser in his his strategy and also laser in his psychology. A lot of new traders, a lot of struggling traders. I think the biggest thing they struggle with is shiny object syndrome, and that's just chasing the holy grail of trading, which is unless you're a market maker, I don't think you're ever gonna find. Whether you trade price action, order flow, um, ICT, moving averages, support and demand zones, any strategy you can think of, it doesn't really matter. It's what works for you and what works to help you read the chart the easiest. That's one of the hardest things as a new trader coming in is interpreting the chart, interpreting strength, interpreting weakness, and interpreting momentum. And each strategy has its pros and cons. So I'm not against any strategy because I've noticed that a lot of strategies line up together and eventually line up. One of the biggest things that I've noticed is when multiple strategies line up, the move is bigger than if it's just one individual strategy. So you'll find trades on with any strategy, and once you start combining them, which I highly do not recommend unless you already have your strategy lasered in. Um, of Lasagna Cat, Easy, all of them have only focused on their main strategy or whatever tool helped them see the chart the best and help them make decisions the best. A lot of new traders have the biggest issues with a lot of new traders is their entries and their stops. When I first started going through my process, I started to systematize all this stuff, and the way that I did it was I figured that if I can laser in my entries, then I wouldn't have to worry about my stops. And one of the tools that helped me with that was the fibs. And Lasagna Cat was one of the first finding your way participants, and he resonated with the fibs, and it has helped him a lot. Not sure if he wants to chime in and see what he's been up to with the fibs.
Yeah, just using the fibs with my A plus strategy that we developed during my Finding Your Way, which is based on the moving average cycle stacking up the right way, and then hitting support, and then drawing a fib based off of the first high or low, and then using those in conjunction with what do you call it, moving averages. And also zooming out a bit and taking a lot from Brandon's technical analysis is using fib levels from engulfing candles in particular. I'm really fond of those. He also calls them high range, and using the fibs off of those, especially the half candle retracements. Um, and yeah, and with fibs in particular, you can really, in terms of getting those good entries, you could get your entry and your stop and your targets all from plotting a fib. You don't follow those levels blindly. Ideally, you can, for example, line up a target with a moving average. Say your 1618 is right by say 100 EMA. It's a really good matchup. And or if your entry fib is sitting on the 50 SMA, I mean it's those matchups really go a long way. Um, and yeah, and you can you can take a fib and you can add it to, you can add it as reinforcement to any other strategy, but mine is based on a fib.
Yep. And I think you used it properly. You used it with like how I used them was I would tell myself that the easiest way to have a trade plan is using your fibs because it has your targets, your entries, and your stops. Your target being the 161, your entries being the golden pocket, which is 68% to the 30 or 61% to the 38%, and your stops being a hard open close below the 23%. And that's all dependent on your drawdown tolerance. But what you got to ask yourself, when you're using fibs or any strategy, is you have to call out your entry, call out your stop, and call out your target. If you don't do that, you're risking um, getting FOMO. And you know what leads to FOMO? FOMO leads to bag holding, to chasing, getting bad entries, um, and it just creates a lot of bad habits. So in order to cure the bad habits, you can use fibs to to help you with that trade plan. Um, and I like the fact that Lasagna Cat said that when it stacks up with the moving average or a different strategy or your strategy that you're using, it makes that level that much stronger. Um, and that's something that Brandon has taught us and he's stressed out since the beginning of the elites is you need a stack catalyst and at least have 3 catalysts before even thinking of getting in. And hopefully by the end of this Toad is you'll be able to identify your 3 catalysts before you get into the trade. Because we need to use these tools to forecast what a potential move might be. And Brandon is pretty damn awesome at forecasting potential moves. But if you've noticed when he's live is he'll call out today is a prime example is where he said, I'm not touching this until it hits my support. And he marked off a zone. And sometimes fibs or whatever strategy won't line up exactly, but they'll give you a zone. Like say the 50 moving average is a point or two above the 50% fib. So that gives you that zone right there, a little how do you call it? Um potential error zone. It's either gonna catch the 50 SMA or it's gonna catch the 50%. Or it might catch in between the two. But at least you have the zone of okay, it needs to hold this level before I even think of getting in. And before when price action, what you got to get into the habit of doing, Toad, is price actions coming down to my level. Let me check RSI. Let me check MACD. Is it coming down? And there's a small seller wave, MACD seller wave. Is it coming down? Is RSI bullish or is MACD starting to look bullish? Because then that's gonna be like, okay, that's 2 catalysts. Now, if I have MACD bullish, trend is bullish, RSI is bullish, price action's coming down to my level. Now you already have your 2 or 3 catalysts stacked up, right? And now you gotta go, okay, now you can concentrate on the price action. Price action's coming down to your level. Okay, it's getting closer, it's getting closer. What you want to see is want it to slow down, hit your level, or hold your level. And then this is why I always say plan your trade on the 5 minute, on the longer time frames. Time your entry on the 1 minute. Not get in on the 1 minute. You can, but what I do with the 1 minute chart is okay, they slow down price action coming down into my level. And now when the candle hits my level, this is why I like to look at shorter, like 1 minute time frame. I've never watched the 15 second or any second chart, but what I want to see is the 1 minute hit my level and wick up, or even if it smashes through that level, I want the body to be formed and closed above that level, holding my level, even though it wicked through. Once the candle develops and closes, then the next 1 minute, I want to see it open up strong, or at least holding that level, not looking weak. Um, and then think about getting it, because you already remember you were paying attention to RSI going down into your level. You're paying attention to MACD going down into your level, and then you've seen the candles developing around your level. So then you got trend on your side, you have RSI and MACD on your side. Now I can be okay. I can get in right here and take the trade. You have to take the trade because you already have your rules right. You followed your rules. You have your three catalysts, and you got to take the trade. That's the last thing, is take action on your trade. Um, there's gonna be times where it doesn't work, whether that's around data or you know um, maybe maybe a tech sector, like we know, like Nvidia, Apple, Facebook, and all them. Sometimes they control the market, and if they get good news because of something and it squeezes up or it dumps or they're dumping, it's gonna kind of control the market. And the other things, news can come out, whether it's war news, other type of news, and you get in on the optimal entry, and then it goes against you. Shit's gonna happen. You just gotta take that with a grain of salt, throw it out the window, cut your losses. Don't bag hold. Usually what I like to do is, if I'm in a trade and it's against me a lot more than let's just say my P&L is red a lot longer than my green P&L, right? What I like to get in the habit is zooming out. So I look at the 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, and the 1 minute to see if there's any structure that it can potentially keep going down to or up to, whatever, if I'm in long or short. Zoom out and then reassess and be able to cut the trade and not back hold. Because it's always better to freaking cut your losers short, because it's easy to make that money back. But if you're zooming out and you say, I got in at the 50 SMA and it can go all the way down to the 100 EMA, and that 100 EMA is 10 points down, are you really willing to hold $500 red if you're in with one contract? Or, you know, it's better just to cut it at 250 or 150, whatever your stop loss is, reassess and be like, okay, it's going to bounce off the 100 EMA and I can make my 250 back, instead of being down 500 and being able to make that and then cut it, and then you cut your loss at the 100 EMA and then it bounces and then you're like, well, I got shaken out. No, you should have cut it a little bit higher, reassessed, got in, and made your money back. With that being said, hopefully you got some trades we could recap. You got screenshots, Toad? Hello? Are you on mute?
Oh, I was muted. Yeah. I got yeah, one from Monday, one from Tuesday, and then today, so what, and then yesterday I had like 3 hours of sleep. I was just watching mostly. And then today I got a bunch of trades, which are actually as I told y'all before this recording, it was the four, it was like seven trades, um and four winners, and those were all according to the system. And then I had some losers on my, like, kind of not YOLO, but giving into the FOMO a little bit account, like, oh, I'm going to try to catch the level. And those
Mm-hmm.
were like 50-50. So as I mentioned earlier, that's really perfect to reinforce the good behavior of waiting for the system.
Yeah, definitely. I think you'll find more success waiting and creating rules for your strategy instead of just be like, well, my mentor called out this level, I'm gonna get in at that level. And that's what a
Yeah,
lot of people, that's why I hate that a lot of influencers or a lot of trading dudes will call out levels, right? I like that they call out levels. I don't like the fact that new traders be like, well, Brandon or Connor called out this level, I'm getting in. No, no, no. You still have to follow your strategy and follow your system. Just because it hits a certain level doesn't mean to get in. Like I keep telling you, and I told Easy and Lasagna Cat is you want to see how that candle develops around your level, whether it's the 5 minute or the 1 minute or the 30 minute. But pay attention to the 15 second or 1 minute to see how the candles are developing around your level. You want to see them hold that level and then look for strength and get in on the momentum side, not on the other the bad side. Uh,
right.
let's jump into your. Hopefully you said you got some red trays. Let's jump into those first.
Okay, those, yeah, I'm gonna have to pull up my Ninja on today, which is kind of nice. Oh, this is great. This is like, I'll stick to, let me not get distracted here. Let me pull up my Ninja on and put on that account. This is like sometimes Friday really just gives us like the easiest structure. I feel like this is like a picture perfect fib from this low to the high, golden pocket, and here we go.
Yep.
Right after kind of nice
A
action.
run up. Yeah.
Yeah, right after a run up. Kind of, it's pretty straightforward action, no BS. Only, morning dip and rip. But yeah, so I've got these here. Well, we got the 1 minute chart. Yeah. I'll zoom over. So this one, that was actually a winner.
You post your entries. I mean, you show the entries. Exit.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find. Actually, it's the entry exit of this loser. But and I thought I had it, but I might actually. Oh, here's one. Yeah, I actually did not really have a lot of losing trades this week on ES.
Well, that's
Hopefully
good.
not. Yeah, I was bad. I do not hope I have more next week. But let's analyze. So this one I got in, and this is an example where I wasn't waiting for my system, right? Because I have my entry right here on this level due to looking to grab this 30-minute anchor from low a day. So this is where we are right now.
Yeah.
And we came right back down to near like the open price of the day, but hit that anchor. The anchor's untested, and we're in a buy signal. We've been having pretty bullish action for the last like
What's a
many
buy signal
days.
again?
Buy signal is on the 30-minute real time hours. You have the 10 SMA over the 50 SMA. And I realized from a meeting actually like 3 days ago, we have to also be kind of over the 50 SMA. When you're under the 50 SMA, I don't think it's technically in a sell signal, right? But it's looking like you might get into one until you get back over the 50.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I tend to because I use a 1050 cross from Easy, but I wait for the actual sell signal would be for me when the price action or not price action, the 10 SMA breaks below the 50 SMA, and then
Yeah.
price action holds below the 10 SMA
Hmm. Yeah.
because
Once
it
you
can loop it.
incorporate,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, the SMA loop that is pretty standard in our things that we see a lot. Yeah, I want to use SMAs at some point after getting down VWAPs. Right now, it's too many lines, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You don't
Too
want to
many.
muddy the water, especially with anchors and the two moving averages you have right now. The
Yeah.
other ones can just, they can help you with potential targets, is what I usually use them
Yeah.
for.
I have them up on my trade of eight. So on, I kind of split it out on trade of eight. I mean on Ninja here on the 1 minute. And then on trade of eight, I have it on every time frame. So I kind of like split it out. On Ninja, I'm looking at the MAs and just price action. And then here I'm looking at kind of everything else. I should probably split that better. It used to be a little better. But and then trade of eight, I'm looking at the volume profile.
Yep.
Um, yeah, this one. So yeah, we're in a buy signal, right? We're having good bounces, right? And it's like,
Yep.
and then we have a good run, and we come right down to today, low a day anchor, and something that I mentioned that I had losses, and I might have reset that account. I don't know. I shouldn't have done that, but I kind of probably wasn't thinking. Um, didn't reset it as in so the trades are gone.
Yeah.
But one thing I definitely have to get out of the habit of is so I've been trying to devise a system where it's out of laziness, right? There, where I don't have to watch as intently. I can kind of just have say like a 3-to-1 RR,
Yeah.
and then go for the bounce. But that's really, I mean, it might work, right? But that's not what I'm going for here right now.
Yeah.
So I got to get out of that habit. And here's an example of that losing. Um,
Yeah. I think for now, let's leave the RR out. And then once you get consistent, once you get your entries lasered in, I think that risk reward tool that you use, I think that'll help you out a lot better. But I think we
yeah,
need to work out on your entries first.
yeah. So, yeah, I think so. And doing that really, like, you learn a lot from losers, but I had a lot of losers in the last like 2 weeks or so. Just kind of because we figured out this execution strategy last meeting, or
Hmm.
maybe the one before that, but I
Yeah,
think
the
last
second
week.
meeting.
Yeah. So then before that, I really had a lot of losers because I didn't really have an execution methodology, like a tactic
Yep.
in place. So now I think is a case where I'm going to learn a lot from my winners because,
Yep.
like I said, 4 winners today following that. And I'm using, I have like the RR setup so I can visualize my position, but I didn't use them for actually one. I tried to use it and then it shied the actual optimal position, which would be like just before the high of the open of this candle, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, so it shied that, and mine was based on RR like up here in kind of just like a continuation chop area,
Yeah.
which, well, what turned out to be, but was just the grind originally. And it shied that, and then it came back down to here, and then I just cut the position because I was like, oh, I don't want to come back down to entry, and then it did eventually go to my target, whatever. But because of which actually is because of higher time frame analysis, right, on like the 5 minute.
Yep.
But I shouldn't have used the RR because my original, I typed it in chat, and what I realized, I was debating between the two positions, and then I chose this one, and then it went to this one, which I knew was it based on the 1 minute structure. So I was like, you're right, I shouldn't use RR, I should use 1 minute structure, and then let that work itself out because it comes to, if my entry's here and I'm going for here and I don't want it to break the low, it comes out to whatever. It comes out to a reasonable RR. I don't have to think about it. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
put that to the
where was
side
your
for now.
entry? Where was your entry and your exits where you got stopped out?
Yeah, so we were over, yeah, we were like here. I was actually
And you were in
maybe at
long
the, yeah,
or
I was trying
short?
to go in long, and we kind of yeah, I could replay it, but that might take too much time here on each. So I'll kind of just zoom back. Um, my entry was, we were here essentially, or like here on the 1 minute. Um, so we were near this kind of potential higher low, right, on a larger to a bounce, even if it doesn't go above. Um, and then we, of course, hadn't hit this VWAP yet on the 30 minute. We were like, I don't know, up here. Yeah, because we had
You were
breaking.
trying to get in long at the middle of that?
I was trying to
Sir?
get in long right at this green horizontal. So right at the touch of the VWAP. I just tried to get in for one there, just like just taking whatever, trying to, like, oh, I'll let myself snipe this position to watch how it probably didn't work. And then it came, so that was like here on, he's like the drop down. Um, get the text out of the way. It was like right here. So this candle was the one that actually interacted, I'm pretty sure. Just flip back to
And that's a 1 minute, you said?
trading view. Yeah, so this is the 1 minute on the, so what this one here is the 1 minute with the green horizontal being the 30-minute anchor. I was trying to just snipe. Um, and then so this is the 1408 candle. So if I go over to Ninja here, 1408 candle, which would actually on Ninja be the 09, because Ninja's a minute after. So
Yeah.
I didn't snipe the candle that actually interacted. I waited for that to close, then I had this one, and then I just got into this one. And I was like, imagining, I was like, this is like
Yeah.
a RR, right? He's letting, just kind of doing whatever, right? Trying to, but that
And,
lined up with with the top down. So it was kind of reasonable.
and
Um,
that goes with what I had told you earlier about using the 1 minute chart.
yeah.
As if you would have entered um if you would have entered here, you said, right? Or somewhere around here?
Yeah, right here.
Right here.
Yeah. That's exactly. And I just didn't wait for the break of anything, but just got in. Um,
Yeah.
so you're saying if
Uh
I entered here.
yeah, so let's mark off where you would maybe entered. Somewhere
Yeah.
right here.
Seems horizontal.
The way that I look at this chart, I wouldn't even try. That's
Yep.
like the typical saying is you caught a knife to the hand,
Yep.
straight up. Um, what I like to see, especially when it's coming down into my level, is either this type of formation, because you got a higher low. Like let's say my level is right here, right? From the 30 minute down here, example. You want to see, or let's just say it was right here, where you on the candle that it entered right here,
Yeah.
and it bounced. You still don't have a higher low.
Hmm.
In this candle that you entered on, you still don't see you still don't have a higher low.
Yeah.
And
So
that's
even if it goes up.
typically what I like to see is something like this over here, where it hits my level, creates a higher low, and now I'm waiting. Okay, now it's looking like it's picking up some speed up, and now I
Mm.
got my higher low, and then the break of the body, and then get in long.
See, that's awesome that you just said that, because that's exactly what I was just theorizing would be have been the position here, and that's exactly what it would have been using my system here, because actually I kind of will. Let's replay that. If I go here, next candle, interact, and then I pretty much bought right there. But I shouldn't. What I should have done is actually, I was telling my friend this yesterday. It's like you were saying, teaching people is pretty helpful because I said to him, I was like, you can just try, you can think to get in there, but you shouldn't. You should anchor it. Or on my system, I don't get in, I anchor,
Hmm.
and then I wait for then another candle to break. I'll
That
probably
low.
like, yeah, like either this is actually, I've got a question about this after, is like the really
Yeah.
nuance of the getting in on the 1 minute, because I'm not sure which next one I should wait for it to break to anchor again for a back test. Um, so that
But
question is
that would be
better
a good
asked.
question to ask Connor.
Yeah,
Write
yeah.
that shit down. Ask him on Monday. Because the way that I usually trade is I wait for a higher low before I'm even thinking. Like, let's say, for example, you anchored that, right? But I want it to look like this over here where I anchored and it came back and tests it and then it held that body and those two bodies hold. I'm getting in right here on this candle right here
Hmm.
to go up
Yeah.
because it confirmed. And if you notice, Brandon, he'll do that. He'll be like, okay, I'm getting out because this is a top down anchor, or I'm getting in because this is a bottom up anchor,
Hmm.
and it confirms his level with whether it's a fib or a different level that he uses.
Right.
But yeah, you always want to try to get that higher low before even thinking of getting in.
Yeah, and that's kind of what having the system is like. I mean, the VWAPs are if you're looking at volume and you're looking at price action, you're almost imagining VWAPs,
Yeah,
and anchoring them here
yeah.
uh forces me to wait for the retest, which is the higher low naturally.
Yeah, and this is what I was trying to tell you earlier. So now you're trying to catch it, right? So watch,
Yeah.
pause it real quick.
Yep.
Now, now look at RSI and what is this? This is RSI right here.
Yeah, this is RSI, a little
Okay,
modified, so it might look different than what yours might look like, and this is MACD.
okay. So this is exactly what I'm walking myself through, right? So I look at RSI, it's looking bullish a little bit. We got that cross. MACD, what I want to see is the histograms continue going down, and I want to see the MACD start to do this kind of jazz right here, right?
Yeah.
By then, when I get this cross, I want to see price action in a higher low, create a higher low. We get the MACD cross and then squeeze up. Now play it. Let's see if that's what happens.
Right. Which
And now
should
pay
be
attention.
exactly,
Now pay attention to the MACD. It should be closing in, and then we should get a higher low on
but
or
right on this
around the
candle,
time.
nope, and you never entered, right?
Exactly, because look at the MACD. It's still bearish. There's still
Right.
gap right there. So you
Yeah.
want that MACD to close in.
Yeah.
See? So now right there, look at the MACD is flat, is basing, right? We're about to get that cross. Now I'm telling myself I want a higher low right here. This needs a hold. This shit needs a hold. RSI needs to keep going higher lows, higher lows.
Yeah.
And now let's see what happens.
So I think and then on my system here, I think I want, since this big candle got the
Mm-hmm.
body broken,
Yep.
I think I would anchor both of these candles here in order to see, and then I would be looking for the next candle to close below this one, maybe, in the zone, but above this one and this
Yep.
candle.
Yep.
Definitely the candle and probably the
And
the
you want
VWAP.
it to hold that level, not fucking smash through that level and
Right.
then
Like it did here.
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So I entered here, right, on this kind of, semi YOLO account. And then as soon as I got down here, I'm happy about the stop. I didn't eat this whole
Yeah.
candle to the face. And then just watched. And then eventually actually realized that my entry never existed. So here's if I was watching, so I need to watch very like intently for these because I actually I realized on this, I can be hitting my goal with like if I take 3 trades with like 2 MES,
Yep.
that would be hitting my goal fine. And eventually, if the commissions can just do it with like 1 ES, win 5-6 points, and just be done every
Yeah.
day.
Yep. One
So
ES,
anyway,
5 points. That's $250, real
right.
quick.
And then the risk is 3 points for maximum, so 200. But then you win the next one, so you get 250. So then
Yep.
you're up 50, and then maybe you win the next one, and then you have a great day.
Hmm.
So anyway, yeah, it came down into the zone, closed in the zone, popped up out of the zone. And let me actually get rid of this text. Can I actually click on that?
And the MACD, look at the RSI is bullish.
And now it's doing
MACD,
exactly what you're talking about.
MACD is starting to look bullish, and now I'm looking for a higher. Like I told you, as price action is coming down, you're looking at these lagging indicators to kind of signal for a buy signal, right? Because you want to kind of forecast what might potentially happen. Now
Yeah,
it could reverse right here and then fucking dump, but that's why you wait for the candle close and
right,
then be like, okay, now it broke, now I'm getting in.
right.
Well, you want to try to get in at the MACD cross within a minute or two of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you
And
also have the RSI.
that's why the 1 minute helps. And you plan your trade on the 5 minute, right? You're not getting in at this level. Now I'm looking for an entry on the 1 minute.
Right. Where did 14, 30? Yeah, so I'm just boxing in all the things. So MACD, and this I know this one. This is actually I love so far. I think my best strength pieces in are the RSI, the MACD, anchored VWAPs. Not so much price action because I'd be catching knives clearly.
Yeah,
And without a
but
stop, normally eating this whole candle to the face and then praying.
but
Not
you
normally,
wanna
but like months ago.
you wanna understand price action. Like right now, you know
That's the most important.
that you know that you're not trying to counter trend this until you see a higher low form or something. Or
Right.
let's say a daily level hits, or like that's the only time that I'll fucking enter at the first touch. If it's a major level like weekly, daily level, daily SMA, daily freaking trend level, or daily freaking or weekly level,
Yeah.
that's where I'll be like, okay, I'm getting in, but this is like ultra scalp. This is getting in, getting out, 4 or 5 points, real quick. It's not, I'm getting in, I'm gonna hold for 30 minutes type of trade. This is I'm getting in, getting out within, less than 5 minutes. Now go
Yeah.
ahead and play it. Let's see what happens.
Oh, so before even playing it, I think I think according to the rules that we made, I would actually be getting in at the break of this candle's body because it interacted with my zone, which means I probably wouldn't have gotten here on the futures. Let me check. 14, 17, maybe 14, 18. So 14, 19. So technically, I don't know if that would have I think that might have gotten me in.
Well, you could have
Um,
entered right here because remember it's the pullback low candle. So you identify your pullback low right here, and now you're
yeah.
getting in right here at this on this candle. This candle closes. Now you're entering here on this candle right on the little doji candle.
Okay. All right. So that's like this candle here that you just marked up is the candle that we're on.
Yep.
And that's exactly, so basically as soon as that one closes and then shows any movement up. So basically right now I would go ahead and get in. Targeting
No,
for
no,
my,
no, no. You
oh
wouldn't get
no,
in. You would wait for that candle to close. So you'd be
yeah,
getting in on the next candle.
yeah, right. So
As you get better and as you start getting more experience with this strategy, you'll be able to catch the fucking dip into that level right here.
right,
Right? But don't worry about that right now. You need to get that more screen time so you get more experience with your own strategy.
yeah,
Now, for right now, you're gonna get
only,
in on this candle over here
yeah,
to get in and catch this big ass move.
and that's only 3 more points. I'm not worried about that right now. Worried
Yeah.
about winning,
Yep.
having winning trades. So now I'm in on this one according to my system, right? Interacted with my
Yep.
levels, finally showed a strong strength candle. I don't even have to worry about any of the indicators, and this is just by my system, still an entry right here. And then I would target. Would you target in this, or would you get to the? Because when it's a big candle like this one, that's easy enough. You can reasonably, if your trade is going to win, expect it to at least get to like the top portion of the candle. But what about this like chop stuff? Would you go and take the 5 minute and just, treat it as a 5 minute candle and go for like this doji maybe? Or just under the
Yeah,
doji?
I usually go to the dojis or market structure. So that's a
Yeah.
little bit of market structure there, a little
Okay.
bit here. But I'm paying attention to how price action whips through these levels right here, through
Hmm.
these levels. Is it smashing through? Okay, that's strong. That it took out market structure. It's strong. So like that, I know that it can do this. It can do this,
Yeah.
right? But if it hits this level, let's say it hits this first resistance right here. If it hits that and it does this, and then it does this, then it looks weak. But if it smashes through and then you're like, okay, now it's gonna go this, now it's gonna go to this doji. Now I want it to smash through that doji right there and then do this and then one more up to this one up here.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. You have to always look left, always look back to market structure to see and then pay attention to how price action is going through these levels. So you'd pay attention there,
Yeah.
and up here.
Right.
Like up here when it gets close to your anchor VWAPs, that you could put like let's say it hits this, right? You have two contracts, you lock in right there, put a trail stop on the next one to hope potentially go up to here because your anchor VWAP lines up with this dojis right here. So that can be your second target. And if you get profit stopped out, you're gonna end up green no matter what.
Right.
Or if you do have that as your primary target or your only target, just be wary about these levels right here. You want to see strength through those levels. And like even if you entered here, you want to continue seeing the MAC cross to the upside and be like, okay, MAC's good. MAC just confirmed I'm in. RSI got divergence. Perfect. MACD cross. Now I'm more confident that it'll reach right here.
Yeah.
Or should reach right there. Emphasis
Yeah.
on should. Because data can come out, news can come out, and then fucking dump.
Yeah.
But just keep in mind that in any other scenario, it will most likely play out in your favor.
Makes
So
sense.
let it play out. Maybe it'll play.
Yeah. So then there is actually that
Boom.
win right there. On
Right
and
to it.
really I think I should only go to like maybe here. So as a stop. So there's that win there, and then that right there would be like the 5 point win. And then if you've got say 3 micros or 2 micros, maybe go up to
Yep.
this next structure, raise the stop up, move up here.
Yeah, see, I was about to say these ones, they tell me that's going to be a little pullback. But same again, you want to see it hold that structure and then go
Yeah.
up to the next structure.
Hmm.
And if it's, see how these two candles right here smash through that doji? So it should have a better odds of going up to this anchor.
Yeah. This one, so the first target would be the top down here, from the start, either the high or the start of the dump, right? That split area, which is just about where it came to.
Yep. Or that can be your target too, since you're using anchor. So do the top. That'll be target one, target two.
Hmm. And then a target, like another third target would be at this point, maybe the 5 minute top down, which if I bring this red horizontal line to where that is, it would be like here. And so then each of them are just about 1 R away, like
Yeah.
4.3 points. So T1, T2, moving the stop up the whole time above the each high or low.
Yep.
Yeah. That's actually, so I was watching a, when you see multiple good traders say the same thing, obviously is pretty true. And that's what he was talking about for multiple. That's what everybody talks about for multiple positions. And that's something I kind of want to remember and reinforce, because it's so easy to, when you're a winner, not take care of your position and be
Yep.
like, oh, I don't need to leave the stop at below this. I below this higher low. I think it could come all the way down here and recover. And it's like, sure you can, but do you really want to do that?
No, you don't want to hold through all that shit. And that's why I forgot what trader I like, but as soon as uh the trade is going in their direction, they move their stop up to break even.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they hit their target one, they move up their second stop up, a little bit higher. And they keep moving it up and keep moving it up. And that's a lot smarter to do. And I'm starting to pick up on that habit. But what I usually do is here's my target one, right? Hits right there. I have a moving average that's right here, tagging along, whether it's the 10 SMA, the 21 EMA, or the 50 SMA. If price action is far from the 10, I'll attach a trail stop to the 10 SMA with the 4 tick offset. So it'll be following it or just right below it. So like that, if it comes down, if it does this and it comes down and attacks it, I'm good. Cool. I'm cool with it. But it could
Yeah.
hit my target, and if I want a little looser profit target or profit stop, then I'll attach it to the 21 or the 50.
Makes sense.
And just let it go.
Uh,
Just fucking let it go. Be happy. Be happy that you're locking in green.
yeah.
Cool. You got another trade?
Yeah, so these I've got two more. Um and maybe this is also a good time to, because all of the other two I have are also the same system off of 30-minute VWAPs. And but what I've been looking to do is take more of other VWAPs as well, right? But the problem is that and what I'm running into is that, you are looking for, I'm executing on the 1 minute no matter what. So I'm always looking for a higher low, strength, higher low, break of the structure, long. Um, and that is, it seems like most reliable on all the way on 30-minute VWAPs. And 15 can obviously 15 and 5, right? It can, of course, show their strength too. But the 30-minute is the most likely. So I'm trying to think about how to actually incorporate the 5 minutes. So I sent you an example today Oh yeah, that's why my green horizontal was also originally here, and then it came back to line up with the 30. Because it lined up, the green horizontal lined up with this 5, which also lined up with the data candle 50 fib.
See,
Um,
like that shit right there, you should be
yeah,
taking note of. Like the
yeah.
50 data candle, the 50 I mean the 5 minute lined up with the 30 minute. That type of shit. And not only that, but check it out, move it back a little bit.
The this way.
Yeah, that one.
Mm,
So not only that, right? Yeah, this is scary, but you already got your higher low, right? Your higher low's right there. And
right.
what do we always say? And moves in legs of 3. So this is your second leg pullback, right? I'm glad you brought this up. Can you zoom in a little bit right here?
Yeah.
So you got your second. So you already know we're in trend. We broke this with this big peak. We broke that market structure.
Yeah.
So we know a pullback's coming. You want it to pull back to your 5 minute. You got your higher low right there, right? The next candle, did it break it? Yeah, it did. So you would have probably entered right here and then stopped out right here.
Yeah.
So yeah, you would have entered, held a little bit of drawdown on this candle, um, but still held your VWAP.
Hmm.
Your once you mark off your VWAP is your fucking your line in the sand because
Yeah.
only because it held that doji right here, still good. So you know, okay, maybe 2 ticks below that doji is your stop.
Hmm. That makes
But the
sense.
the thing that I always draw to, like I always stress, is these dojis. So you could have drawn a line on that doji right there and stopped out right below it, somewhere right
Right.
here in this zone.
Makes sense.
But that's the way you would enter because you know you have the 30 minute lining up with the 5 minute. So you know remember how I just said earlier that I only take that type of trade when it hits a daily or weekly level? This is like that type of trade where it's a significant 30 minute level.
Yeah.
Not only that, but you got a higher low. You got second higher low. So you know you have another leg up.
That answers my question. Um,
What was your question?
basically how to the 30-minute VWAPs like this one are the significant levels that I've been using to start my process,
Yep.
my execution. And I'm like, I don't really want to do that on 5-minute anchors because I think they're just going to be less likely. Like, so same risk but lower likelihood. Why not just take only the 30? Why not just start the process only on the 30? And the answer to that is don't just go into the, if I'm going into a 5, I need to be looking for, this is where I start involving maybe 1 or 2 pieces from other strategies, like fibbing out the data candle. That's easy enough and it works and it's good. So, and it's simple. So it's like I did that today without thinking about it. I just watched it come right to the 161. Came back to the box, tested the 100, chopped the golden pocket, bounced to above the 0 and actually to the -50, which I don't know if that means anything. And now we're back to the golden pocket, and we could come back to the 0 or we could go to the 100 and my anchors here. So we've got, I already know all this stuff about the fib and my anchors here. The one thing I don't like, and I remember putting this in chat, is we had just gotten the 5-minute macros, the red,
Hmm.
on this one or this one. So when this candle closed, we got the fresh cross, but and sellers were still in control on the 5.
But
Um, I didn't like that.
the other way to interpret this is the MACD lines right here. They're on the bullish side, just like the RSI,
Right.
right? You got that. Not only that, sellers are getting out of the way right here. See right here? So right
Wait, where?
away down here on the MACD,
Oh yeah, yeah. Yep.
right away, you know this is not even going to come close to beating out this. So buyers took control,
Yeah.
right? The only reason even without the fib, the only reason why I would have told you this is a good play is because this market structure got taken out. That
Mm,
liquidity got taken out.
makes
If
sense.
this if this play right here would have done this, then I would have less confidence in this because you're just creating a coil.
Ah,
You're just creating a coil,
okay.
and then it could finally break down over here.
Yeah.
But that's where your price action experience will kind of come into place because we wiped out all the liquidity that was in this fucking data candle. We wiped it out. Buyers are in control, right? And then you hit the fucking 10, so you would enter. Remember, you always want to identify the pullback low, and most of the time it looks like your pullback low lines up with your anchor VWAP. So that's your pullback low, and then enter 1 tick or 2 ticks above that,
Yeah.
and then enter and fucking let it play out.
Yes, and here's my entry on that is right now live on replay interacting with that. I would anchor the bottom, wait for it to break the last red candle from my anchor. Well, mine is like teal, whatever. And then it doesn't, it falls through a little bit. So I'm still not in. And now I anchor the new low and I wait for it to break this red candle. It finally does that. So anchor that one, wait for the higher low, test to the zone.
You would get
Uh,
in on this candle right here, on
you would
this
actually
doji
just
right
get
here,
in.
right here.
See, that's funny because that's what I was telling my buddy. Him and I have tried. So he's like used to look at this stuff and then totally put it to the side.
Because you got your pullback low
And I
right
was
here.
telling him that, but I was like, I don't know if I would do that. I would just okay. So, but then you get the doji. Oh yeah, this one never. But then why? Oh yeah, because you don't have it here. Okay. Wait. Hmm.
Huh?
So if you're right here though, how
Where?
is that if you're at this time, at this point in time? Um, how is that
But
much
had that
different
had
from
hit your
this
level?
point in time?
Had that had
Technically, it
hit your
kind of
level?
wicked it. Kind of wicked it here a little bit. Let me see exactly if it did. It's hard to tell in replay. I mean, if I had the line like right here, yeah, I would say that tapped it because I consider very, very close shies also a hit. So this I would also, unless I don't consider shies and I don't consider wicks, I would have to consider this a tap of my level, I
No,
think.
you want to see it hit your level.
Because sometimes, okay, especially with the five. You know what? Especially with the five. With the 30, it can shy it a whole lot. I mean, it can
Yeah,
just tap it like this.
yeah.
I notice sometimes, but I should with the five not be so lenient.
Yep.
So we don't call that interaction. Um, but then on my system, I'm pretty sure I would still
Even if
like
you would have got in here, right?
yeah.
Your your stop would be, I would put it down here, but that's just me.
Okay.
This is that doji, these dojis, they ES futures, they pay a lot of respect to the dojis.
That's good to know.
Respect to the dojis. Even this doji right here, if you would have done that doji and done like 2 or 4 ticks below it, you probably just barely would have missed it getting stopped out or getting wicked out. I
That
usually
makes
do
sense.
2 or 4 ticks below, but see how this doji lines, that wick lines up with that? It's just got to be like, that has to hold. If it doesn't, my stop
Yeah.
would be right here.
Yeah, which lines up with kind of the golden pocket of the data candle, which means we could be going from that pocket back to the 100.
Yep.
You stop out. Yeah, most right here, which would be similar to the. I actually, I think this. Yeah, this is the 7-8 or whatever. Which
Yeah.
should I don't use that level a lot, but
Me
that
neither.
should line up. Yeah. So then we'd be in right here. It went up halfway to price target, came back to break even. And then if I waited all the way for, this even No, I should. Well, now I'm kind of conflicted because normally I'd wait for a whole retest of the zone.
to get in.
Yeah, at least on the 30, but maybe on the 5, I shouldn't wait so long. Because on the 30, if I'm going for a move on the 30, then it's way more likely to, I think, make kind of a higher low.
If you're more weary, let's. I think we might have just figured out your grade B and your grade A.
Okay.
Okay, so your grade B being is enter over here, right? Enter. Your
Yeah.
grade A is finding that finding that that pullback low
Yeah.
and then get in at the retest of that.
Mhm.
So this would be your grade A right here. This is like 75, 80, 90% over here. This is your 50, maybe 65% right here.
That makes sense. And this doji is also characteristically a lot different from this entry. This is just a doji.
Yeah.
This is a hammer.
Yep.
Um,
And hammer that's has a lot of buyer pressure.
yeah.
This has buying pressure, but this one really has buying pressure. And not
Yeah.
only that, you got the RSI right here.
Mhm. Yeah.
Going up, and then you want to see this. This is what I've noticed majority of the time. I got this RSI. The MACD would have saved you from getting in right here. The MACD would have saved you from getting in right there. Because look at how spread out it is right here.
True. Then
So
by the
pay
time we
attention.
get to this candle,
Yeah,
it's
it's
kind of
getting
closing.
closer. You know, it's getting
It's actually
closer, and then you see
curling.
it base. That's what you
Yeah.
want to see. That's exactly what you want to see. Is you want to see it base and curl up, and then you'd be like, okay, let me anchor that candle, and now you're just waiting. You're just waiting for that level to get tested. Boom, it gets tested, and then you enter right here. That's your grade A setup because you already have your MACD cross right here, right?
Hmm.
You got RSI divergence, and you tested your VWAP. That's your
Yeah.
grade A. You got three things. One, two, three. But
Yeah.
the way you
That's
do it is
actually,
you're telling yourself, okay, RSI is diverging or it's basing right here, right? It's still coming down, still coming down, still coming down right here. Now you're like, okay, MACD's curling, MACD's curling. Now you bring your eyes back up to price action, and now you're waiting for the candle development. Okay, it
mhm,
hits your level, right? Now you got a higher low right here. Let's say this anchor wasn't there for some reason.
right.
That anchor wasn't there. You got your higher low, and then you still got your anchor right here, and you're like, I'm not getting in until that is tested. It hits, boom.
Yeah.
You got your pullback low, you got your MACD, and you got your RSI, and third, you got your fucking VWAP.
And then here,
And then break of the body and enter. And then take
yeah,
it back up. Take it back up.
boom to the
Just
doji.
like your structure. Okay, look, so you got in right here, right? Or somewhere in that area. First is right here. So you expect for there to be a pullback. If it smashes through that level, like this candle wick up that level, then you know it's gonna do this. And it's gonna go up to this level over here. Where coincidentally it looks like there's a gap right here. I'm not sure.
Yeah, trading view. I could check if there's,
It don't look like it on Ninja.
yeah.
But whatever. You still can target that structure.
In that
Oh,
example right there, what was
oh,
the
why am I
support
delayed?
level where it based?
Why is my thing?
That was a 30-minute VWAP.
Okay.
This one's actually 5.
Oh, the 5
Uh,
minute, yeah.
yeah, early. This one's a 5, but also it's the golden pocket of the fib.
And I thought you
Um,
said this was a 30 right here.
this is a 5.
No, no,
Earlier
no.
that
The
one I
chart's a
showed,
5, but I thought this horizontal line was a 30.
it ended up being the 30 later in the day.
Hmm.
Um, so here's where we were, like this candle, and this green horizontal was the 5 minute. and then we bounced that, and then came back, went up, came back down, and then it ended up being the 30.
Okay.
But originally at this point in time, it was just the 5, and the 30 was actually all the way down here. It'd be something like, and this is why it's good to be able to that I like, opening up to the 5 and the fibs, and like looking for other confirmation as well, because if I put this where the 30 was at this point in time, I need to sync that globally. If I put it here, I wouldn't have ever gotten into this position because it didn't come down to my 30.
Yep.
And then what it turned out to be was a nice
And
opener doing
look at what it did.
exactly what you did.
It went up to that structure and crapped out.
Yeah.
And then it goes up to where? Another doji. Look at the doji. And where's it go? Right there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude, those dojis, it pays a lot of respect.
Right. Then
the reason that
then
I
the
asked about
runners.
the support level before was
Oh yeah.
it did match up with and you actually mentioned this a second ago, is that it matched up with the golden pocket
Yeah.
as
Right
well.
here.
Yeah, and it also matched up with the 200 SMA
Oh yeah.
on SPY. We used to use that for support to go long quite often, but we talk about it less. But even so, when I see it line up with these other levels, I take it pretty seriously. So yeah, it's
Oh
good.
yeah. It wicked it here. I think this should still be right. I don't have live data because I think someone, I probably shouldn't say that live, but either way, yeah, so I think this is that area.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it like wicked the 200. So I mean, if you're an MA player, you're probably like, F all these fibs, man. It just wicked my 200 and gave a big fat buying doji.
right. And as
And
it
then this is where the strategies line up.
exactly. And like I like seeing that you have an A setup forming here, because it's like it's similar in a lot of respects to the setup I use.
Yeah, I
And
saw your setup in the morning.
yeah, it's giving me
And
some it, it it's helping me understand what you're doing a lot better too. So that's cool.
yeah. What would you I wonder what you would fib out this morning.
I fibbed out this little guy. Um it was an MES price action from, all right, so at 8:46 Eastern time this morning, um uh MES came down to a weekly doji.
A weekly doji.
Yeah.
That's some deep mind shit.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And it wasn't a level that I included in my TA that I posted, because I only posted SPY in my TA, but it was so it's 8:45 going up to 8:50. It was a tiny fib, and it worked out really good. And then there's the 5-minute fib from that same starting point up to 9:15, and it allowed the dip down
Mhm.
that we caught this morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, so you
So
wrote down your grade A and grade B, right? So I think we have it down.
Yeah, I think we do. My grade A set up here, but you know what? I think it also could have been considered a grade A based on all the confluence of the golden pocket, the Mac turning. I don't like the 5-minute Mac because at this point, all you see is this on the 5-minute and the seller beat. Um, so maybe that brings it to like a B plus or an A minus or whatever. Because
oh,
on the 5-minute Mac going live, oh, what are you saying?
is that where the Mac is crossing under right there?
Yeah, so if
Right.
I go here and select bar, this is where that doji formed, and then a few minutes later, right, and then the Mac had crossed red, but then so I think got into this one on Sim when I saw yeah, it eventually break above this structure. Um I don't remember. Maybe it's in one of my Sims. But either way, I've got one other trade. I don't know how much time we've got left.
Jump into it.
Um, oh, you said that's about it?
No, I said let's jump into it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, so that I've already got my. I don't know why I can't drag these windows. I've already got now that A written down. I've got a B, which is the B is essentially really looking for my A,
Yep.
but only only if it's like a strong level and I get bit of a bullish action otherwise on like MACD RSI, or if it lines up something else, then I could get in like down here. And in this scenario, I think this will come in handy, because in this scenario we had just had a nice big move, retraced all that liquidity like you mentioned. Um, so it came back and it tested. I would have gone profit break even. I wouldn't have gotten out, and then I would have went into profit. But there are instances where this wouldn't have given me the retracement for the A.
Okay.
So it'll be nice to be willing to catch some Bs based on these rules.
But remember, keep in mind that you always want to trade your grade A before you trade your grade B.
Yeah. And my
Don't
A actually set up earlier in the day, so I could have done that.
you want to have a cushion to at least be like, okay, I have a little bit of buffer. I'll still end the green. I'll still end the day green, and I'm willing to give a little bit back to enter on my grade B.
Hmm.
You don't want to be like, I'm entering my grade B, and you start off red, and you're like, fuck, it just fucks up your whole day.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. So this is a retrace of the data bottom of the data dump 5 minute. Is what I watched during the open today, but did not take. So on this one, I could have gone and anchored the touch, got the higher low, got the test of the VWAP, and basically could have entered long here and took like no heat on it. Um, so I think like that's high B or A probably. I don't know. Because I'd have to look at the other stuff. I mean, yeah, his the
Well,
Mac 5 minute Mac just crossed. The one
just
minute
ju-
is about to cross.
just keep practicing this setup for the
Yeah,
next couple of weeks. You're gonna start to see that pattern, and then you're just gonna be able to forecast those plays a lot
yeah,
better. Because you're like,
yeah.
because like I said, you want to create a system is like price actions coming down to my level. Okay, what does our side look like? What does MACD look like? Okay, it's looking good, looking good. Even though it may be bearish, but it's starting to turn bullish.
Right.
Once our side starts bullish, that MACD is next and it's coming into my level. Okay, we got the MACD cross, we got the anchor VWAC touch. Okay, now I'm looking for a break above the body. I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah.
But you want to create that system. And a lot of people that start off finding a strategy, they don't know how to exactly use that strategy. And I think that's where they run into trouble is they don't have a process of processing the chart, price action, and processing the indicators. And that's what you need to find that order. Because it could be price action, RSI, MACD, right? Or it's going to be RSI, MACD, and then price action. But
Yeah.
I think we found the system that you can follow, the rules that you can follow for your grade A and maybe your grade B.
Hmm.
And I think that's pretty much all you need, and you'll be good.
Yeah, I realized that a lot, and it made me feel a lot of patience back. So today, yeah, so I'm using the ES chart, mirroring to MES, right? So I've got this main account running ES. So and then I looked at it after taking a couple trades, and I was like, wow, I mean, I could be in and out one position, no stress, and make the fine money just off of yeah. Well, you should be process oriented, not result oriented. But I
Yep.
was like, there's no need to like worry about anything else other than just getting down this one high probability trade. There's no need. I was like, there's no need to like FOMO into like MNQs for big money. Like trying to get, I realize that when you're in the market, all the only thing that exists are like the volume, price, and time. And it's
Hmm.
like you don't have to like try I wanted to trade MNQ, so I didn't have to. It was a pain avoidance thing because the longer I was in a position, the longer I was in pain of not taking profit or being afraid of losing. So
That's
by
just
being an MNQ, it ends quick.
that's just like the Biggest Loser guy, Tom
Yep.
Hoover. Like,
That's what I learned. I was thinking about his book when I came to that realization. I was like,
yep,
just like he said, I'm trying to get out of this pain as quick as possible. So I'm trying to trade the quicker thing. When really,
yep,
if I just have patience, focus on the process, and take the structure of MES, like I'm or ES, it's fine.
yeah.
There's no rush.
Once you laser in ES, just because it's a lot slower moving, by
Yeah,
all means, jump onto NQ. You'll catch moves a lot faster, but at least then you'll have consistency and at least a plan going into it. Just know that NQ doesn't respect levels as much as ES.
yeah. I mean, if I can hit all my goals with ES, I'm good to go.
Yeah, $50 is
I'm all
one
right.
point, dude. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm looking to do like 3 points, loss max, looking for around five. Maybe at some point pick up a runner, get five, get seven, get eight,
Yeah.
13. And then eventually also I want to look to run moves from the 30s to the 30s. That would be cool because like this one, for example, this is on Wednesday, big grind up all day, no retracement. Thursday comes down and taps it, and it's like, man, in MES, just one. Like if you just want to ride that even halfway to the top down, I mean that right there is $50 in 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
So what I realized is that all there is price, time, and volume. But you can invest. I was trying to invest less of my time to get a bigger reward, but instead with just waiting for, it's like I can invest additional time of pain. But anyway, not to get too
Once
deep.
you have a larger account and you can swing or average in like Brandon, then you'll be hitting those moves.
Yeah,
For now, let's catch the in between moves.
I mean,
Um,
shit. One win, two wins, $300 a day, bunch of accounts. Fine. So you got 10 accounts, five, 3,000 a day. I think that's
Fucking
all
beats
right.
beating burgers, but
Beats,
you only
yeah.
have to chart 2 hours and you make $300 or whatever,
Yeah.
and somebody's working their ass off, fucking working at McDonald's or somewhere. It's
Well,
like,
my goal
fuck.
right now is I've got a remote job. I'd love to do this, do that job on the side. End
Yeah,
goal, go live like a king in Thailand.
yeah,
That'd
just
be
like
lit.
me, like I get to work remote and I get to trade. People say, "Why don't you quit?" It's like I love my job. It's not like I hate it,
Yeah.
and I get to trade. Like,
Yeah.
who can beat that?
Yeah.
Other than retiring, of course, but I got plans for that.
Right. And then so this next trade, um, this is
This
actually
is
it's a bit
green
of
or
like
red?
a this is break even ish actually. And my entry, my next screenshot shows the follow-up price action, but I have the entry on it and I'm looking at it on my other screen. I figured we could look at it before, but it's right here
And that was
on the
off the one
close
minute
of this
or
doji.
the 5 minute?
Yeah, this is off actually just a 1 minute anchor. So it was a huge dump of a candle on. Oh, dang. This was today. Okay, perfect. That's fine. This is where that trade went. So this is this huge dump of a candle today. Or was it? Or did I just take that screenshot today? Yeah, that was today. And this is a 1 minute anchor down. So we can look at maybe something like this because I know, so Connor often says if this move will continue, um, we'll see some resistance at the 1 minute top down. And then we had these two candles here, and then it came down, broke this one and made a doji. So I just got in here which was also a bit of RSI divergence. And it looks like the MACD on the 1 minute is about to curl down. We got the second smaller wave, double top RSI. But the 5 minute looks like it's about to cross up, but it closed kind of flat. So this is one I took today, and then I was right around here. And then I realized I was like, or I thought I was like, I don't think I should have just. Oh, I was like, I don't know if I should have just gotten into this because I didn't wait for a lower high. But what
Yep.
I noticed also is that on bearish moves, I think you get a lower high less often than you get a higher low on bullish moves because bearish moves just go.
That'd be easy to answer that since he's a short player, but I
Yeah,
tend to always see it off the 10 SMA a lower high, sometimes off of the 50 SMA 5 minute.
yeah,
Um, but I do see lower highs. And the
yeah.
reason why you probably don't see a lower high going short is because you're not a short player.
True. I don't see what I'm
Because
looking for.
because for me, I was always a long player, and I couldn't, for the life of me, I could not see a lower high. Even though I could be like, man, why did I take? In hindsight, I'd be like, man, there's a lower high right there. Then when I went through finding your way with easy, I started seeing them a lot clearer. I was like, oh, okay, now I'm
Yeah,
getting somewhere. So I
yeah.
think you're more of a long player. So I would try to avoid shorts
I think
for
so.
now. For now, avoid shorts. So I think honestly, dude, I think this episode is probably the best one because we figured out that you're not a short player. Figured out your grade A and your grade B. So
Yep,
we're doing
I agree.
good. Your psychology's in a better place. You need to
Yeah,
stop shiny object syndrome and focus on this strategy. You got something solid going. You just gotta execute. Write down some rules. You're already getting your process down. You're getting your system down,
right.
and you just gotta stick with it.
Yep,
Yeah, of course you're gonna have some losers, but like I said, keep those little and let the fucking winners run.
yeah.
But yeah, fucking let's
Here's where that
go.
one went. Yeah, on it. I'm very. I'm trying to. It's funny psychology. I try to not even talk about too many of my goals externally because I don't want. Some people say you should talk about them, makes you responsible. Some people say don't. It gives you a false dopamine hit on something you didn't actually accomplish yet. Stuff like
Well,
that.
well,
That's
well,
complicated.
I read books on goals, and the best thing to do is know your why. Do
Yeah,
do the 7 layers of why. There's like, first you say, "Oh, I want to make money." Okay, why do you want to make money? Right? Oh, because I want to help out my mom. Okay, why do you want to help out your mom? Okay, and then you just keep going until you answer 7 whys. That was my why. My why was my mom sacrificed a lot when I was little, single mom coming from Mexico. Um, I was like, my goal is to retire my mom, retire her. That was my why. And then I was like, "Okay, I gotta figure something out.
yeah,
Got to. I can't focus on the pot of gold. I gotta fucking zoom out, set my goal, and then break it down from a 5 year, from a 10 year, from a 5 to a 3 to a 1 to a 6 month or 9 month to a monthly to a weekly to a daily.
yeah,
You'll hit your goals a lot faster than just having hopes and dreams.
for sure.
But yeah,
Yeah, I
first
think I've been getting a lot better at that too.
you'll start to get a lot more light bulb moments either in life or in trading. You'll be like, shit, the shit's starting to make sense now.
Uh,
Like I actually have a system, I have a process. Now I just gotta stick to it, be patient, and fucking let's go.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it gets to that. I think Hugard said it. He's like, traders I've worked with are either just starting out and they don't want to do it wrong, or they're like so disgusted that they will only do it the right way or they're gonna quit. And it's just so it's like you're playing with. That's why market psychology is so important. Is the money is the universal resource, and you're here fucking playing with it, and it's gambling. Like you're betting on an unknown outcome, and it's like you should be worried about it. You need to have rules and stuff. Um, so I think I'm getting better at that too, and this process has helped a lot. And Sim has helped a lot, even though I was reluctant to do it because of impatience.
Well, not only that, but a lot of people don't see any benefits of it. It's like, what are you talking about, dude? You're fucking training your brain to see the good habits, and you're fucking throwing out all the bad habits, or trying to correct all the bad habits that you
Mm-hmm.
created while trying to strategy jump or trying to rush the process. This
Yeah.
process, like Brandon always says, this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. It's not, you're
Yeah.
gonna fucking get rich fucking quick uh
It's exponential.
job. And it
It
can be, trust me, it can be. You
I'm
see
sure
guys
you
out
know that.
there, $21,000. I haven't hit, 50K or 20K in one move. I haven't hit that. Will I get there eventually? Yeah, when I start loading up on my contracts. Right now, I'm still 4 to 5 contracts, 8 contracts. The most I've ever traded was probably 25 contracts, and that
Yeah.
was kind of like doing what Brandon, averaging down so I can get the fuck out.
Oh yeah.
But I don't want to do that. I want to be okay. I'm gonna load up on 10 contracts and load up the rocket ship. Let's go.
Load up.
But that shit comes later. Like I always say, patience pays. You just gotta the money will follow. You just gotta
Mhm.
concentrate on consistency and being boring and just grinding, just fucking small base hits.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
add
here's
up.
while I'm looking here, I was just scrolling around while listening to you. I found and actually on basis, say for myself as well, is just like what I realized today, winning that 5 points is a daily goal.
Hmm.
Making that 5 points. And that 5 points is just straight up from one candle, the bottom of a 1 minute candle to the top of a couple other 1 minute candles. It takes
Yeah.
5 minutes of time and 20-30 minutes of waiting for it.
Yep.
So,
You're just a fucking sniper waiting right there. A
you
sniper
know,
could be in his freaking fighting hole for a whole week before he even taking the first shot.
being out of all the positions, I think a sniper sounds like the coolest.
Yeah. Instead of having a machine gun, right? You could fucking shoot a machine gun and take it. I used to be a machine gunner. You could be you
Yeah,
could be a machine gun and fucking miss your target, or be a sniper, one shot, one kill, in and
right,
out.
right. There's one trader I watched on the internet a while ago. I think his name was Steven Ducks. No, was it that some other? I don't know, but he was like, so he said some people say trade like a sniper. I trade like a machine gun, and then he'd be like in here, in out, and then it's come down in, out, in and out. Like he's just scalping the whole move. Kind of a little bit more like Brandon. I could say Brandon's a sniper and a machine gunner at the same damn time.
But that's how easy he used to be. He used to have like 10 trades in this little consolidation zone right here. And I was like,
Yeah,
nah, bro, you need to wait for this move right here.
yeah.
Catch that move once. Instead of taking 10 trades over here, take a primo trade once and you beat all these trades you just took.
Yeah, the commission and this and
That's
that, and
exactly what I'm trying to focus on right now. So
not
that's
getting
why,
adjusted to level.
sorry to disturb you guys,
Oh
but you
no,
hear me, right?
Yeah, yeah, we
yeah, no,
got
I do
you.
hear.
So
Now
yeah,
you
so I'm trying
remember,
to take, yeah, I remember exactly. Yeah, you're right. I had like 1,000 trade a minute before. So
I
yeah,
can't be a
now
trader if I'm
now
not
I'm
making
trying to
trades.
exactly. Now I'm trying to focus more like between the 10 and 11, the
Hmm.
2 and 3, 1 and 2, whatever, the ICT bullet time, whatever.
yeah, the kill
And
zones.
then yeah.
So yeah, I'm trying to get, those trades, like you said. I want to get that big move and then I'm done with it instead of, playing around and then doing commission, stressing myself for nothing.
Yeah, like I
So
used to
just
Paying
tell
and
you, right?
stress.
1 or 2 trades, you should hit your daily goal. 1 or 2 trades, you should hit your
true.
daily
I
goal.
mean,
That's
with two
it.
contract, I noticed, yeah, with two contract, I do hit it. I do hit my daily goal with two contracts if I'm being
Yep.
patient and then just watching. But if not, if one contract, I'll have to take maybe 2 trades. But if not, I'll just satisfy myself, even though I didn't reach it, but I'm so close to it that I'm like, I'm not gonna run after like, a few bucks.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Yeah, the
Because then
goals like
guess what happens? You go trade your grade B and then you fucking give all that money back. We all been
exactly.
there.
Mhm.
and then the hand goes through the door and then you gotta fix the drywall. Well, not really.
Yeah.
That or you break your cell phone and you gotta get a new one.
Yeah, right. Right. It's those male fucking anger problems, man. I was playing Tekken the other day. I uninstalled that shit. I'm like, this is fun, but this is a waste of my time. But I was looking at my laptop, like I was so pissed. Someone, spamming, right? I'm actually pretty decent at Tekken, but Tekken 8, man, it's spammer heaven. I was getting spammed down, and I just for a second imagined just man slamming the fuck out of my laptop, right? No, obviously not even close, right? But just rage imaginations. And I'm like, a half a second later, I thought, man, isn't it funny that when humans get mad, most of the time the only thing they hurt is themselves?
Yep.
Like staying in the
Yeah.
market, like let's say you go short here at my hand cursor, you go short here, and then it goes like this, and then you're mad, and you're like, f the market. If the market's gonna f me, it's gonna f me, and then it f's you, and that's what you asked for,
Yep.
and the market doesn't give a shit.
Nope.
But
Did
here's a short play though.
did the market F you or did you F you? That's the real question.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
It's
you
it's you
just
versus
blame the
you.
market. You just
You're just
blame the
blaming
market.
the market.
Yeah,
Exactly.
blaming it.
Exactly. That's why when the dog craps on the floor, well, is that the dog or did you not take the dog out?
Right?
Yep.
Didn't
So,
train your dog, and then you're mad about it.
right? Right? So this is all about you versus you.
Yeah, man. I wonder. I
Yep.
think it's going to be like that for a long time. I think the market will have increased competition. It's going to get harder. Algorithms and such will get better. Um,
Well,
but I think still got a long time.
that's why that's what I noticed with Brandon is we started off with trend lines and moving averages. That's about it. We didn't have all these
Mm,
other tools at the time, but now we have 10, 15 tools that we can use because we've been adapting to the market. When we first started Elites, it was in a bull run, right? And then we were in a bear run in the dump after COVID. So we went through that and now we're back into a bull run. So we've been adapting with the market using the tools that the market has for us to use. That's why I kind of hate that all these traders are on YouTube. They're like, oh, screw this, you screw that, and screw this strategy. That strategy doesn't work. And it's like, nah, bro, you have to adapt to the market. And if those other tools help you adapt faster or easier, then use them. That's what they're there for.
yeah.
But learn how to use them. Don't just be watch a YouTube for 5 minutes and all of a sudden you think you know how to use a tool.
Yeah.
Nah, you need to dive deep into it, learn the ins and outs. And that's what I like about Brandon is he taught us how to use those tools properly or the way that they work with his elite system, right? Because you could take that same tool and go trade it with ICT or a different strategy, and you're gonna use it a little bit different, meaning that you're gonna enter it on different trades.
Yeah.
But use the tools that are out there. But like I said, learn how to use them. Don't just go out there and start using it. You
Mm.
can it's like learn how to use a chainsaw or something. You don't just go out there and start chopping down trees. Next thing you know, you're gonna break down somebody's house. You gotta learn
More
how to use
likely.
it. You gotta use it. You gotta learn how to use it properly so you avoid that shit.
Yeah. We
Okay,
have time for one more. I could ask your opinion on this one.
let's go.
This one I was trying to use more. This is actually the one from earlier in the week that I was looking for. I was trying to use more of the other anchors. So this one is a 15. all the way on the
Mhm.
left here. I accidentally covered it a bit with my cursor, but what it did is came down and tapped that 15 right here. This is just a screenshot, so I can't level it, but it tapped that 15 right around this like green horizontal. I anchored that and then it broke the interacting candle. So I anchored that. And then I waited for it to get in to close in my zone. And then once it closed in my zone, I got in at the break of the zone interacting candle. So I was in long right on this green candle. We're all the way on the edge of my screen. Oh no.
What happened?
I accidentally just clicked the next photo. So I got in here, and so what do you think of this entry? Right. Is this too far to the edge of my screen? Here's where it was on Ninja. Right at the break of this zone interacting candle after a potential 15 bounce. The 1 minute looks like it's about to cross. What I don't like is the 5 minutes looking a little bearish, I feel, at least on the indicators. And then here's the previous 1 minute action. And then I can go to this date too if you want some more action behind it. I should get in the habit of grabbing that because all we have is pre-market.
You entered on that big ass.
I entered on this big green right here as it broke this level. So what I'm thinking here is this still a good entry, or if I get a big candle like this, should I wait for additional confirmation? Because technically, bounced to 15, retested my zone. So my zone is right at the bottom of this down candle. Retested my
Yeah.
zone, broke the zone testing candle. So I would
The-
think enter.
The only thing that I don't like about this is that it's a lower high, and a potential another lower high. What's this right here?
This is the 666.
Yeah, see, I don't know if it continue going. And this is a 200 right here.
Yeah, 200. Yeah. Then you got
I don't
10.
like I for some reason I don't like when they're really big bodies like that, especially entering up here with the
Yeah.
666 being so close. I don't know if it's gonna bust through it. Me personally, since the 666 is right there, I want to wait for the 666 to break through it, come back and test it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just
Um,
just because of those two things, right? The lower highs, this is a lower high, and then the 666 being so close to it, and it being underneath it, and it held
Yeah.
that time. I don't know personally getting in, going through it. So what's this moving average right here? 100?
The green? Yeah, it's a 100 EMA.
And that's what usually tends to happen sometimes. Because it's
Because I think
cycling
maybe
through,
high or
right?
low off the 100.
It usually squeezes up, but you want to get in closer to the 100 EMA.
Okay, I see. So maybe for as long, because I'm not going to get in on red candles. I think,
Nope.
buy dips, sell rips sounds fun and all, but I'm not going to get in on the red candle. So maybe I could call
No.
this a B, something like that, or maybe less than a B.
Or to just stay the fuck out of it until it comes back down. See how it came back down and tested it right here?
Yeah,
I think. Did it test it?
I
Almost
tried it
tested it a little
by
bit.
like
But look,
one
if you
tick.
keep going forward, I think the next candle tests it.
It actually
Or
dumped it. So I
dumped it.
got
Yeah,
out
see?
half my position here, and then I cut the other half of my original stop, even though it should have been break even. And the market actually told me that by whipping through that level without giving. I mean, maybe it shouldn't have been break even because he had this. I think on the close should have been probably break even on the close. I don't know. But yeah, it did that. So I don't know. Maybe this is like a C, B, or something like that.
And that's where the long, like the 666 moving average can help you, is like just don't even touch it, especially since you're so close right here to the 666.
Yeah,
Eventually,
big resistance.
it may have kept going like this because of the 200 slope is up.
Yeah, I think this secondary dip here was actually like the dip of the day. This is Tuesday of this week. Wednesday. Okay, so it was not the dip. It actually came a little bit, gave an even better dip. So that action was is that this? It's been Tuesday 4th. Yeah, right here. Oh, just my chart's not stretched out enough for it to be the same, for it to look the same. So here was my entry.
Yeah, seeing it gave you another dip over here.
Yeah, got that dip, which I wonder. My anchor. There, it actually came and broke under that. And then something I'm noticing about anchors is it doesn't seem like it continues through the anchor unless it closes below the -1 distribution. Now, I don't really know. That might be a nuance I might figure out with the anchors, but
Mhm.
I noticed that it seems like it's got to close above or below the you see how it got above the 1, but it never closed above the
Above.
+1, and then it came back down and didn't close below the -1, and it went back up. But then if I anchor this here, well, it was how the anchors work, like, and they move it is basically at this angle. That's where it was originally. So this candle closed above, so then it gave a little bit more of a push to what could have been like a final target or whatever. And then it comes back to this -1 and never actually closes below the -1. So I don't know if that's a thing. That maybe I'll definitely keep looking at it because I put these on my chart all the time. But
Mhm.
I just noticed that it and then here it closes below. It finally closes below that -1, and then you start getting that chop. Like maybe we're gonna go further down,
Yeah.
and
And
then it retests the anchor, and then it does it.
I think that's why that 666 was kind of a turnoff for that play, is because it wasn't worth the risk getting in
Yeah,
because the 666 was so heavy or right there, right above it, and it created a lower high. And
yeah.
now
Where's that 666?
if the pattern looked differently,
Yeah,
then maybe I would consider getting in, but um that's where it would have probably saved you. Especially like I said, I don't like big full size body candles because I want
hmm
to get it as close. You just got to think of it this way. You want to see that formation as close as possible to your level.
Oh, where was that?
I don't know. I think right here.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you want to see the pullback low close to your level or at your level, maybe create a small little candle and then get in on this little candle right here, right? And then you catch that move to the 666
yeah.
instead of getting up way up here and you only got like 2 points to the 666.
That makes sense. I mean, that's something that I could see making sense. Adding up
But
to a B is my
since you
level
don't
is the 100.
use your 666, I would definitely do the -1 or +1 like you did right here and be like, all right, if I get in right here, is it worth the risk to go up to that?
Yeah. I'll incorporate them eventually. I don't know when, because like for this one, I could have seen that all right, this bounced because these two candles down here are the 15 anchor that I was looking for because pre-market was hella bullish. Um, this was the previous day. Big downward run, retraced all of it, came back down, and then looks like we could retrace some more pre-market 15 anchor. I
Mm-hmm.
anchor the 1 minute and then lower high where if you look, my VWAP is the 100.
Yep.
That's double support. I
Yep.
could have maybe bought on the close of this candle that
As soon
right
as it
around my
held that
level.
level, yeah, as soon as it held that level,
Stop under. Target the 666 and high a day for a retest, and then boom. This is what I meant. The risk reward works itself out because that right there is a 3 to 5. Yes, it seems like 3 to 5 is the magic ratio with ES for at least a simple scalp.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But that's where
the boom.
you're starting to stack up, different strategies like the 50 SMA with your anchor. Like,
Yeah,
that should be a strong support. So
yeah,
as long as you see the body hold above it, the odds are getting better for that bounce to play out. But if that red candle would have closed below that anchor or that 50 SMA, yeah, for sure, don't even get in. Just don't
yep,
even risk it.
yep. Well, that's awesome. So now I've got my A setup of the zone retest. I know to maybe I can start getting into an inkling of the MAs.
Mhm.
Um,
Or
inside.
like I said, if you don't want to, then just do the negative,
Yeah,
the +1, -1.
yeah. I do like those two. So we now get the anchors, the Mac, the
Yep.
I think everything I have everything on my chart and I can tune out a good bit of it and focus on just the anchors. But this is like everything I kind of want to eventually use. 'Cause I've got the volume profile, the high POC,
Hmm.
low 5-minute Keltners. I've got VWAP bands on the 1 minute. So this is the top of the, maybe you can't see it, but this
Yeah.
lightly shaded purple is the top of the +2. And
That,
then here I've got the MA stack. So these are all the things I eventually want to be able to use a little
yeah,
bit.
definitely. But slowly add them together.
Yeah,
So like that, you can find the little nuances of that tool
right.
before you start adding more shit on top.
Yeah,
So slowly, okay, I'm gonna add the Keltners or the Bollinger Bands or whatever. Okay, how does it look like in correlation to my strategy or to my anchor VWAPs? Okay,
right.
every time it hits this anchor, it's in the cloud or whatever the case is, right? You want to find those common points. So like that,
Mhm.
when you go to add another one, be like, okay, now this strategy, I can add these 3 strategies, and I know that when they line up, that's a fucking A+++ trade right there that I can take.
And I
And
load up the boat.
yep.
Not really. Maybe double maybe 2 times position.
No, and then that's where we'll scale you up is like we did with Easy. Easy was scared to go to 4 contracts, 8 contracts. I was like, it's not the size that should matter. It's that you're consistent, right? You're consistent. And the reason why I scaled up this way, you can't really scale up this way in the prop firms unless you're going to leave that money there and not take a payout. With the personal account, the reason why I scale up with 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, or 8, or 4 to 8, whatever, is because my goal was to ultimately trade with 10 contracts. So I started with 1, build my confidence. Now I got my personal account got a buffer. So now I can increase my risk to 2 contracts and not worry about blowing up my account. And then the same process again.
Yeah,
Repeat the process where if I take 20 trades on average, if I take 20 trades a week, I need to at least be, I would say, 15 green trades to 6 red trades at max.
right.
And if I do, I want to do that for another week, build up my buffer again, and then be like, okay, now next week I already hit 16 out of 20. Next week I'm increasing my size to 3 or 4 contracts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because you will get sticker shock. You will be like, fuck. When I used to take it with 1 contract, I was only 50. When I was only 50 red. Now I got 4 contracts. Now I'm $200 red. You
Hmm.
got to be used to absorbing that drawdown. Be like, oh, okay. This is normal. This is my typical stop loss, or this is with one contract. I know that I can take $250, or whatever the case is. Um, and then just so you don't get wicked out, you get nervous and stop out. And
Yeah,
that's the reason why I built up that buffer. Is I'm like, okay, I know that I can take this loss and not even give a fuck.
right.
'Cause you want to
That's
get
why
to
I'm
that. You don't
really,
want to not care. If you need the $250 and you're hurting for money, then yeah, don't fucking do that. Don't do that method. But if you're like, okay, I can take a $250 loss and not even care.
yeah, this was a nugget from like a major nugget from Mark Douglas is you should be able to trade. He says trade in 20 sample size. You can do 20, 25. But the point is, if you lose all 20 in a row, you should not care.
Yep.
Um, so, and that's nice about ES, small points, 3 to 5 about right now. Sometimes 4 to 6, depending, whatever, maybe
Hmm.
even tighter, 2 to 4, whatever. I'm not even looking at my PNL. I'm not looking at it. I have my positions window, like, because even on simulation, it's like you see the number and you're imagining the future.
Yep.
So I'm like, I just keep the number away from me, and I know that won't care about it. I
Yep.
know that 3 points I know I don't have to look at all, and that's nice.
Yeah, and that's why I told Easy and Lasagna Cats you need to have a daily goal, because not only does that provide proof that your system works, but the confidence starts to build, right? And then on the flip side, the cons of having a daily goal is you get overconfident because you hit your daily goal every day for 2 weeks, and now you're like getting cocky and shit, like I got this, and and then that's when you revert back to your bad habits. You're like, oh, I can take this trade. It looks great, and you're like, nope, you didn't follow your rules. You broke some of your rules. Yeah, this is your grade B, and then and then you're like, oh, I'm bag holding. It's okay. I've been green for 2 weeks. I can take a bigger loss. You
Right.
still gotta, you still gotta stick to your rules.
Yeah.
Everybody goes through it where they're like, yeah, I'm already a week and a half green. That's fucking 7 days straight of trading, and I've been hitting my goal every day. And I got this, and then you get in, and then you get smacked in the face. You're like, fuck. And then you're like, man, I gotta rebuild that confidence back again. You're
Right.
like, you're resetting the clock. You just gotta be wary about that, because you will go through that where you get confident, you get cocky, and then you're like, fuck, I should have just cut it. Now I'm fucking 500 red where I should have been 250 red.
Right.
But we've all been through it, and you're also gonna come to the point where you're like, you probably blow up an account, you'll be like, fuck this, trading's not, I'm done. I'm done trading, this and that. It's like, bro, if you only knew, trust me, I've had a lot of members reach out to me like, bro, you're right there. You just gotta get over the hump. And then once they get
Yeah.
over the hump, they're fucking good. But they're about to give up, and they reach out to me and like, bro, don't give up. Don't do it. You only fucking fail when you give up.
Right. I'm not gonna. I'm definitely at this point. All I have to do is my major, a lot of traders fatal error. This is a Hugard thing. It's something that I'm sure makes big fat losses are what makes a lot of people give up. And
Yep.
Hugard said he talked with a CEO of I think London Exchange, it's a company related. I don't know, and he said one of the top 5 factors, I think it was actually the second or first one he listed, was whether or not they have a stop when they trade. Because my fatal error and many others is, I'd be taking a trade, and then let's say I'm having woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and then I'm
Hmm.
like, fuck this stop loss. I take the stop loss out. Yeah, I said this to Lasagna earlier. I take the stop loss out, and then it goes 2 times past my stop loss, and I'm like, no, I won't sell. And then it goes 3R. And I'm like, no, I'm actually gonna add. But then it goes 6R. And then it's like, what do you do now, motherfucker? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you gotta be willing to click that close button, you know? That's a
Never
lot.
remove my stop for me. But yeah.
That, or even if you do remove your stop, be like, okay, this is the last I'm willing to go, man. I gotta cut it. There's no way that you're gonna recover all the way back to your entry if you already moved your stop two or three times.
Right.
If you have to move it twice, you should cut it.
For
If you
sure.
have to
And
move it once, you should cut it.
yeah,
Maybe once, maybe tolerable one, move it one, maybe down
one
one.
additional R.
Yeah, that's about it. If you move it more than that, you should fucking cut the loss.
Right. It's like you have to allow you're never gonna fully turn off. There's only some people are gonna fully turn off the emotional errors, but you have to mitigate them. It's like there's a really good meditation book. Although it's funny, the guy who wrote it got like revoked from his like some other country. I think it was like India, or was it the Nepal, like some group of advanced like I don't know what religion, but you know, like monkish people.
Oh,
And
Buddha.
I don't know if they're Buddhist or Hindu, but they were all monks, and he got revoked from their group because they found out he had a bunch of mistresses. But the book is great, and it said that basically you can't always pay attention to only your breath, but if you're gonna let yourself go, try to remain in the body.
hmm
So it's like you might not be able to stop yourself from ever moving your stop, but only move it down 1R.
Yep.
Then don't remove it. That's going too far, man. So as
Yeah,
long as
you
I follow
remove.
that,
Yep.
yeah, removing it. As long as
Hey,
I follow
fellas,
that,
I gotta get
it's
going for
okay.
today, but Semper, I sent you the timestamps, and good work, Toad. It's come along great, man.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think this is looking pretty good.
Cheers,
Thanks
fellas.
for joining me.
It's feeling
Cheers, man.
good, looking good, smelling good. Now you gotta take action, execute, and let's keep fine tuning the strategy, and we'll fucking get you there, bud. We'll get you consistent, get you taking payouts, taking, at least passing more prop firm accounts, and then on your way to profitability.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been a great journey so far.
Cool.
Everyone
Glad
has
you're
helped a
enjoying
lot.
it. You got to put in the work. Keep practicing on that psychology because that's always going to be there. Your emotions are always going to be there. Um, there's a new there's a new book, Papa Rocks recommended. It's called The Mental Game of Trading. I
Okay.
haven't listened to it yet. I'll probably take a gander here once I finish Best Loser Wins, just so I can, just keep sharpening my tools, sharpening my psychology. So like that, I'm like Brandon, and like you guys notice how Brandon is just so cool, calm, and collected. Doesn't like there's no stress in his voice or anything when he's in the trade. And he says, "Oh, if I lose, oh well." Like on to the next.
Yeah.
That's where we want to get at. I'm still not 100% there, but I'm slowly getting there. My consistency is good, and that's what I want to, pass on to you guys is teach you how to systematically trade your strategy. And I hope you guys have getting value out of this. Um, cause I just want to bring up everybody like, into trading. It's like it's so easy to make money, but you gotta learn the right way to make it. You can't just be, oh, I'm gonna go quit my job and just do trading. Nah. Don't quit your job until you're at least making double, or at least replace your income with trading.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep up the good
It's
work.
such a good fucking group, man. All the great advice comes through. It's really all real shit, but I will keep it up.
Yep.
I think this is going great. Oh, someone also asked in the chat, I don't know, about prop firms, but we can look at that after.